Welcome to Know Your Rights with Ellen Firestone. Through this podcast series, you'll become educated on the Universal Declaration of Human Rights and gain practical knowledge on how to apply what you learn in daily life. Listen and learn about each of the 30 articles and actions you can take to help promote and protect these human rights for yourself and others. Here's your host, United for Human Rights Ambassador and President's Volunteer Service Award recipient, Ellen Firestone.
Hi, everyone. Today, we are fortunate to have with us Harold Souza, survivor of labor trafficking and debt bondage, a freedom fighter who is using his story to help others and to help us help others. Hi, Harold. Thanks so much for talking with us today and sharing your story. You are quite an inspiration for the world. I think our listeners are going to be amazed at what you're going to share with us.
Oh, thank you very much, Alan. I really appreciate your humble words.
Well, thank you. Can you start just with a brief intro about yourself?
Oh, brief intro, like I always tell three things about myself. My name is Harold Souza. I am a survivor of labor trafficking and debt bondage in the United States of America. Originally, I am from India, but I just tell three things about myself. Number one, I am a common man. Number two, I am a failure. And number three, I am a sinner. And I think during this podcast, you will analyze that whatever I said, is justified, because I'm not just trying to say, but I'm just trying to be very, very transparent that what mistakes or failures and sins I did in my life, which I do not want any other member or community members to go through what I went through in my life. So I always believe prevention is better than cure. It's better to be safe than sorry.
My goodness.
So thank you.
Yes, I totally understand. But your story, I think people are going to see what an amazing, amazing person you are. So, it seemed you had an executive position in India. Is that correct?
Yeah, very true. See, Alan, my father went through a lot of hardship because grew up in a village where there was no running water or electricity. Education was last in the list. So they had to first do agriculture, do all the, take care of the cattle. And if there is time, they had to go walking 5 miles. And my dad has shown me they had to go through all the forest or jungle. So I think he might have just done till 8th grade. But in our case, he gave us education. And so basically, I have done a master's in marketing management.
Oh, wow.
I did my post-graduation diploma in human resource development. That's called HRD back in India.
Uh-huh.
And that I did my bachelor's in law, in labor law.
Wow.
So it was only for 2 years. I did practice. I didn't do my specialization. But that was it became more like a passion. And when I say that in my earlier, when I said that I'm a failure, Alan, to be honest, right from 3rd grade to 10th grade, I failed in all the subjects. I used to fail in all the subjects.
Oh my goodness.
And but then afterwards I clicked. I never got first class in my life. I was getting second class. That's like anywhere from 55% to 59.7.
Oh my goodness.
I tried a lot.
Uh-huh.
So I tell my kids also, come on, failure is the path to success.
Wow.
You should never quit. You should never quit. But you should keep on trying and giving your best. So I want to say that one thing, Alan, before I end, is that I was holding a good position in India. That's right. But my father used to always tell me, Harold, people should respect you, not your chair.
Correct. Yes. So true.
So that's always that has stuck to my head all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And I just want to share with all the viewers, globally that, how you can create your future. Many times people say, oh, I cannot predict my future. I said, yes, but you can create your own future. And that can be done with just 3 things. I always tell that desire will not change anything. Decision will change something. But determination will change everything.
Wow. Very true.
Yeah, thank you.
Yes, thank you. So, given all you did with your education and the positions you had there, you were still searching for something or hoping to achieve something in the United States. What was it that made you want to come to the U.S.?
Alan, I'll be very honest. I had no plans to come to the United States of America. It was like in India, it's every person's dream that is like going to Swarg, they say. Swarg means heaven or paradise.
Uh-huh.
And it is a truth even today. Every Indian has a burning desire to come to the United States of America.
Wow.
So I met my perpetrator in Bombay for the first time. And that is where he invited me. And that is how I had no clue. But he gave me such a rosy picture, and he was shopping. When I say shopping means he was looking out for individuals, and I think they were not getting the visa, which I had no idea. See, I was manipulated, tricked, and trapped. And I fell for it. And most of these perpetrators globally or within the United States of America, they know the psychology, or they are one step ahead of the law enforcement agencies, and they know the entire mindset of the victim. Like, see, my culture is different. I'm from India. So mine is an arranged marriage. Okay, so when I got married on 4 things: on a trust, on a promise, on a commitment. And so I came to the US also on 4 things. I came on a trust, I came on a promise, I came to live my American dream with them.
Oh my God!
But what happened? And I came on a faith. But little did I know, when I landed, it was a different situation.
Yeah, that's.
And I came on a $75,000 salary.
Wow.
On an H-1B visa. So I came to the United States of America legally on an H-1B visa, which is a work visa. And at that particular time, I didn't know anything. This I'm talking of 2003. I was so super excited. So I just didn't know what was an H-1B visa, what is an H-4 dependent visa. So my wife and my kid were on an H-4 dependent visa, and my wife was not supposed to work, and he made her work. So it's a very long story. Like, this is just the tip of the iceberg.
Right.
Which I'm just trying to share. So I just want to create education to all the community members. Like, if you're coming on a C-1D visa from India, that visa can never be corrected. You have to just go on the ship. So people are not aware. And if you're coming on a B1, B2 visa, that's a visit visa. So you can come here to the United States of America and stay for maximum 6 months, but go back. People will tell you, come on, stay back, I'll get your visa corrected. I'll get you a green card or a permanent residency card. No, they're just manipulating you because they want labor.
Wow.
So I tell people, please, don't fall a trap. Or they'll say, okay, I'll get you into a contract marriage. You will not believe. So, I tell them these are all shortcuts, but they end up in a lot of problems.
Oh my goodness. Yes, thank you, Harold. I have told you, as an American, it's appalling to think that someone was coming to this country in hopes of freedom and excitement of the American dream, and that it ended up basically in slavery. Not at all what our country is about. Definitely want to help put the word out, make people aware of what's happening so that does not happen. And you had mentioned how, human beings are lured into this. They're manipulated because, a person's not going to just jump in, oh yeah, please sign me up, right? So the words that came to me after just briefly hearing your story are tremendous strength and courage. Strength and courage, it's difficult for me to imagine. How did you and your family survive those years? What inspired you to keep going each day?
It was very difficult. I was almost like running like a rat, and my perpetrator was trying to kill me. And he hired a hitman to literally shoot or kill me. So there was a lot of things that transpired in my life. And one fine day, when he hired a guy to shoot me or hired a guy to kill me and he shot, it is then when the fear of death went out from my mind, body and soul. Then I realized, oh, come on, everybody has to die. I have to die one day, whether it is President Donald Trump, you take anybody, celebrities in the world, including me, my kids. We got a permanent visa, not in permanent visa, we just got a transit visa on this planet by God for 36,000 days. That I always believe is 100 years. I'm not going to live for 100 years. If I live for another 10,000 days on this planet and I can do something for the community, that's 27 years, 4 months. So that entire perception changed me. And I'll tell you one thing that really transformed me or changed me is that, Alan, that one fine day in the afternoon, I was talking to my wife, before I think I'm not going to live. I'm going to die because my perpetrator told me, and it was I could see it I'm going to die. I'd surrendered. I could see it because I didn't know anything. I didn't know the law enforcement agency. I didn't know the people. I didn't know how this country operates. But can you believe that my younger son Rohan was playing on the floor, on the carpet at the corner facing the wall. And here, almost 10 feet away, my wife and myself, we are discussing. I'm telling her, in a very depressed way that, I'm not going to live. I think I'm going to die. My younger son, Rohan, comes and taps me on the back and I look behind and he tells me, Dadu, if you die, what happens to me? Who will take care of my schooling? So it was like God talking to me, Alan.
Oh my gosh.
It really, even today, I get those vibes. in my entire mind, body, and soul. Like, like my son, and I looked into his eyes, and I didn't say anything. I was like, I don't know, but that even today, that is something that told me, man, if I die, Rohan dies. If I die, my wife dies. If I die, my older son Brady dies. So there's a lot of stuff of that nature that inspired me. Like God telling me, Harold, come on, you got to live. You need to stand up. You need to rise to the occasion.
Wow.
You need to be the voice, courage, hope, and freedom for all the victims.
Wow.
And that is what kept me going. I'll be very honest, it was only my kids that kept me going. Even today, Alan, if you don't believe me, when I get up in the morning, every breath I take even today, in front of my eyes, I always see my two sons, Bradley and Rohan. Because I could see what happened to me, I could see that will happen to them.
Right.
They'll get exploited. They'll become victims of human trafficking, and that kept me running. I used to work 16 hours a day, but I was so I was working for Cincinnati Children's Hospital, but I could not. The moment I took a thing, I used to sleep only for 2 hours or 3 hours, but then I used to keep running. I could not stop.
Right.
But today, I told you, when I said that, I failed on 4 P's. I failed as a parent, I failed as a provider, I failed as a protector, and I failed as a person. But those 4 P's got transformed into passion, purpose, prosperity, and power.
Wow. That is amazing. So, Harold, after speaking with you, I perceived a person with tremendous strength, humility, kindness, hope, and, this willingness to help others. How did you overcome the invitation to hate?
I realized one thing, that if I had to be happy, I always tell in my presentation, and I always believe in practicing and not preaching. So now I talk about what my kids are doing, because I've been here for almost 18 years. I came in 2003. So I always believe that one thing that what Mother Teresa always said, do not waste time judging people, just love them. And I said, why should I judge? And then I realized that I had to forgive my perpetrator. It's difficult to forget, but I got to forgive. I said, no, it is due to his blessing. I take it in the positive way that I got to stay in the United States of America. I got to go to the White House. I'm helping people. So whatever happens in your life happens for a reason. So there is no point in cribbing what happened. And I think that is the only thing, that if you want to be happy, you got to reconcile. And I said, God forgives, everybody forgives. So who am I? I'm just a human being. And I'm trying to change the mindset of all the perpetrators. Everybody, when they're born, I think are good human beings. But I don't know what transforms them or what changes their mind in a negative way. So it is, you have to always change their mind, their thinking. And I am trying to educate the vulnerable population. Everything is possible. In my presentation, whenever I do globally, I just tell 4 things. It does not cost you 1 penny. I said, number 1, be happy. Number 2, be thankful. Number 3, be empowered. And number 4, believe in yourself.
Right.
And everything will fall in place. I always tell that suicide or silence is not a solution, is not an option, or is not a choice.
Exactly.
So, so we have to stand up and rise to the occasion. Then I give my own example. I said, if I can do it, you can definitely do it. I had so many hurdles in my life, but now and every day, and today we are all very happy. Thanks to all the Americans. I'll be very honest, Alan. Individuals like you helped me so much. The law enforcement agencies, and they were so humble, they were so kind, they were so caring, they were so loving, they were so compassionate. And I have no words. And so that is the thing that has really touched my heart. And that is why I just want to give back. There are so many people whom I didn't know. Americans, they stopped on the road, blessed me, gave me some money. How can I forget?
Wow.
I think that money is money. Every penny that you have earned, is not a free money. I respect it. Just because you are helping me by giving me $10, that $10 is like a big blessing. And that is the way I look at it. I remember my father telling me also, I tell you always about my father because it is an inspiration for me. And my father used to tell me, Harold, 1 person's meal, 4 people can eat. But 4 persons' meal, 1 person cannot eat.
Yes.
And that is what happened in our life, in reality.
Wow.
Because we had no food in the house.
Right.
So if my son will go for some birthday party, he'll get a piece of pizza. And he knew I could not even afford 25 cents for that vending machine in that, when you go to Kroger to get a candy. So, there's a lot of things that really transformed. And then I realized that, come on, what I cannot change the past, but I can change the present and future. And that is what, I decided to live a happy life. And today we are living a good life, like my wife and my 2 sons, and in the community. I think always charity, love, happiness begins from the house.
Yes.
I'm happily married for almost 27 years.
Wow, that's awesome.
And both my sons are doing good. So basically, we are like friends in the house. Like both my sons.
Oh my
We
gosh.
are like friends. And another thing I want to tell you that you need to look, listen, learn, live, love, and laugh with all the victims. And when I say most important, I should say you should do all this with your own family, first with your kids and your wife.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that's how then things transform. Like my older son or Bradley and Rowan, they manage the finance for the last 10 years or more.
Mm-hmm.
I'm financially retired.
Wow.
So
That's great.
my goal is to age is just a number.
You are right.
My goal is to teach them value, character, education. My job is that, and how to manage financial aptitude.
Mm-hmm.
And financial aptitude is very important, and how to even do charity, help people.
Right. Well, that's wonderful, Harold. Thank you so much. One of the purposes of this podcast series was to make people aware of their human rights. There is this Universal Declaration of Human Rights that the UN adopted back in 1948. However, many people still do not even know about it. Article 4 of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights states, "No one shall be held in slavery or servitude. Slavery and the slave trade shall be prohibited in all their forms." I mean, this human rights violation is still, fairly unknown and hidden. Although there are, more great organizations out there like yours and doing things like what you're doing, raising awareness and obtaining justice, for all human beings. But how can we do more? What do you think we can do? Because I think there is a key here of obtaining justice. If there was more justice, maybe we'd be eliminating or reducing this violation, horrible crime. So what are your thoughts on that? No perpetrator, no trafficking.
I think this is it's a very colossal task, and this can be done with the teamwork. I always say the teamwork makes the dream work. It's not like just me alone or the law enforcement agency, or we leave it to the government or they have to do it. What you're doing today, Alan, is the best in the podcast, is that creating education. So education is the key, and this has to be done with all the community members. So every community member should be aware of this, that human labor trafficking or sex trafficking does happen in the United States of America. So when they listen to the podcast of yours, and many times I'll give common small example. When my story came on the news in the US, so many people from the parish and from my workplace, I thought I lost my job because it's a stigma. The thing is that many people or victims are not coming out and sharing, especially in human labor trafficking, thinking they'll not get justice. Because perpetrators use 4 words, especially to foreign immigrants or foreign nationals in the United States of America. Number 1, they'll say, "I'll get you arrested." Number 2, "I'll get you handcuffed." When they use the word handcuffed, they show it. They put their hands bare and show. "Oh, do you want to get handcuffed?" Number 3, "I'll get you jailed." And number 4, "I'll get you deported." And no foreign national or immigrant would like to hear these words, because everybody is a good human being. So if you see the percentage of human labor trafficking and especially male victims, you'll hardly find anyone coming out and sharing or talking, because it's a stigma, it's a shame, and they do not have the courage. And that's why I've been across so many places. I've done so many times presentation in a group, and I see around there are all girls. I'm the only guy there.
Wow.
So I'm trying to encourage people, that even guys, that come on out and talk and share your story, so then community members should be aware. So for a small example, like after listening to your podcast, somebody goes where labor trafficking happens in the United States of America, I can give 4 places. Number 1, at restaurants. Number 2, at gas stations. Number 3, at convenience stores. Number 4, at motels. And it does happen at other places also, at warehouses, at liquor store, at agriculture farming. But now when anybody listens to this podcast and they go to a restaurant, at times people say, "Oh, it is invisible." It is visible. You talk to the server, and especially I'm talking to restaurants which are Asian restaurants. And I was in Washington, D.C., and I was telling one delegate, and "No, Harold, I go to this Indian restaurant, I talk to this girl, and I said, these people who are there, they never get the tips." What? Always they leave tips. I said, "They'll not get it," because she put on the credit card. So she went, I think after every week, every alternate week she used to go. So she went to the restaurant. She started conversing with a girl who used to always serve her. And then she asked her, and she said, "Yeah, we don't get the tips." And she called me the same day. "Harold, what you said is true. I couldn't believe it."
Oh, wow.
So, but then I said, "Yeah." I said, "If you have to give tips, maybe you'll have to put something on the credit card, like $2, and you have to give it in her hand, cash, so that nobody sees. Because the entire money goes to the owner, the trafficker."
Oh, wow.
So these are small things where, whenever you go, you don't expect or you don't think, this happens in the US.
Yes, exactly.
But these are all realities.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. You really hit on something there, because, I've been doing this human rights education for many years. And one time I was talking to a family member about human trafficking. And the response was, well, that doesn't happen in our country. I was like, oh boy, yes, it does, And it's like, but it's people are so, not aware, and they're not looking around. And, I really, I was impressed by the name of your organization, Eyes Open International. So what, Harold, does your organization most need to continue your wonderful work with even greater orders of magnitude required to go for totally eliminating this horrific human rights violation?
Yeah, I had no plans. It was like a dream come true, or it was God's blessing that we opened that Eyes Open International. One of a nice American friend like you, she inspired me to start, and this name was decided by my son Rohan. Because we all sat as a family, we were brainstorming, and he said we came with a lot of names, and then he came with Eyes Open, then we added international. But I'm just like how it took its birth, and I was doing a lot of presentations, Alan, across, and then I realized that when I do a presentation, it was only like 100 people, 500 people, 600 people, maximum 1,000 people. But I said if I have to reach people globally, I understood. I did a lot of research on human labor trafficking in the United States of America. It's like this. You're at Niagara Falls, Alan, and then you see two kids drowning. So you go and save them, the two kids from getting drowned. And then you see me walking across and you say, hey, Harold, come here. I need your help because there are another two kids who are drowned. So we save another two kids. And then there are another two kids. So totally we save 6 kids. And then I run away from there. And then you get mad at me and you call me, Harold, come here, I need your help. I said, no, Alan, I want you to take care of the 6 kids, but I want to go and see who's drowning them.
Right.
So, in all honesty, with all due respect, America is the destination. And India, Mexico, Nepal, so many other countries are the source.
Mm-hmm.
So you got to stop at the source. Otherwise, in this country, United States of America, especially for human labor trafficking, lifelong we'll be keeping on saving or rescuing victims. But we have to create education back in our own country and tell people, please do not come to the United States of America illegally. They're paying agent. I'll give a small example. One lady paid $74,000 in the year 2019.
Wow.
And that is 53 lakhs. 53 lakhs is like 5.3 million rupees. With that money, you can live a very lavish life in India. But that lady got deported after 5.5 months from Mexico. She was caught. And she didn't know. But she tells today that never, ever I will go to the United States of America. That's again like undocumented or illegal, paying the agent. She saw dead bodies in the jungle and skeletons. It's a fact. These are all real facts.
Wow.
I have worked with more than 100 victims. So many Mexicans, Indians, Guatemala. There are people, they come through border. Well, Harold, how did you come? I said, by flight. I said, how do you come?
Right.
They said, we came through the jungle. I said, what? They have eaten, they didn't get food. So they ate grass.
Oh my gosh.
They ate leaves. They were so thirsty, they drank their own urine. But these are the facts. I know but
right.
We have to accept the reality. Number 1.
Yeah.
Number 2, out of 10, only 1 makes it.
Wow.
Yeah, there are so many people who die in the jungle or they get caught. That's a reality.
Uh-huh.
And then when they say, what a mistake I did, I should not come. But they're already into huge debts.
Uh-huh.
So we have to go back and understand. We have to be trauma informed. Like what? Who's doing? That's the reason I started Eyes Open International. So Eyes Open International is focused on 4 things. It's on education, prevention, protection, and empowerment of victims, survivors, vulnerable population, and community members globally.
Mm-hmm.
So we give all resources like the hotline number. What do? I tell people, okay, you have to come to the United States of America, come educated, come with the eyes open. Save the numbers. We on the phone will save numbers of our friends, restaurants, or other things as well. Save the number of National Human Trafficking Hotline number.
Mm-hmm.
And that's 1-888-837-3888. So that's the National Human Trafficking Hotline number in the United States of America. You can here make a call today after my podcast and they will guide you. They talk in 200 languages.
Wow.
And they are there to help you, not to prosecute you.
Mm-hmm.
You call with any situation. And if it's a very dire emergency, call 911. They are not going to prosecute you. I tell all the victims of human labor trafficking and even sex trafficking, but especially human labor trafficking, you call 911. If it is a very emergency, they are not going to prosecute you. But the perpetrators, they mind wash you, your mind. And that's what I was very scared of the police. I'll be giving my own example. Mm-hmm. And other thing, Alan, In human labor trafficking, especially in the United States of America, whether you go to San Diego, New York, anywhere in the US, they do not call you by name. There's only one nickname. In sex trafficking, there are a lot of nicknames. But in labor trafficking, there's only one nickname. They'll call you illegal.
Oh my goodness.
They'll not call you by name. They'll not call me Harold, come here. They'll say illegal, come here. So you know what happened to me? That when they call you illegal, you think you're a criminal.
Right.
How smart these people are.
Oh
And then you think, oh my God, so they remind them again of the 4 words. I'll get you arrested, I'll get you handcuffed, I'll get you jailed, I'll get you deported. And nobody wants to hear that. And I'll tell you how this changed in my life. When my case went to the FBI, and then I was told that I did mental counseling therapy. I said, see, they know better than me. I was like so upset. I said, it was a foreign concept for me. So I said, no, I'm not mentally sick. But anyway, I went, I had no choice. So I went for counseling. So after 6 months, my this counselor, that lady, was telling me, Harold, I've been seeing you, coming and seeing me for the last 6 months. Every time you said that I'm illegal. She used one word, Alan, and that changed my life. She said, Harold, you are undocumented. And I said, oh my God. And up till now I was thinking I was a criminal.
Oh my goodness.
I said, yeah, I don't have, I had documentations when I came, but my perpetrator, he cancelled everything which I didn't know. So I was undocumented. But that changed my thinking, Alan. So I said, wow, yeah, why I'm running away?
Wow.
So that fear of being a criminal went away from my mind, body, and soul in 1 second.
Right. Yes, you were not the criminal.
Yeah. So that's why I tell people, whenever you meet somebody and you think that at the gas station, convenience stores, restaurants, hotels, call them by their name. They feel so good, and that is how they will start opening up. First thing is to call them by their name. And I respect COVID right now, but always give a shake hand, give them a hug, because victims are so starving of love and affection because they have been abused so much, that I don't know how to tell you, they abuse so much. At times, being abused verbally hits you more than being abused physically. It sticks with you lifelong. Right. I always tell that trauma has no expiration date. And I want to give a small example. How a victim or a survivor many times cannot come out of the situation. Out of 10, 8 do not come out. They get triggered again. I'll tell, in my particular case, my perpetrator took a full hand. He's a man. And he slapped my son in front of me.
Oh my gosh.
And for what? He didn't do any crime. He didn't do anything wrong. Even if your son or your daughter, or if anybody else's son and daughter, even if he or she does something wrong or something, hanky-panky, you discipline them. But when a child has not done anything, but just to teach me a lesson and to break my morale and my self-esteem, you do that. And what did I do? Nothing. So I always tell that when you see your own child being slapped, he'll cry. My son cried for 120 seconds or 108, that is 3 minutes or 4 minutes. But the child forgets. But you have to understand, for a dad like me, it has stuck to my heart till I go to the graveyard.
Yes.
It sticks. But it's very easy to say, but there are certain things I don't share. But I just want the audience to understand that what happens and how they can love and respect, regard and recognize and help and empower these survivors.
Right.
Because trauma has no expiration date. So there are a lot of such factors that happen in a victim's life. And that is, and it's not only one time. See, it is in and out every day, every week, every month. It keeps going. So that really affects you a lot. That's the reason, many times I tell you, many times the victims or survivors try to commit suicide, which is not right.
No. Wow. But look, I can't even imagine what you and your family lived through, but what has come of it, the way you are helping people is amazing. And I mean, really, we are here to help each other. And you are demonstrating, what we really all should be aiming for, to help each other, live a better life, build a much better world. Harold, thank you so much. Is there anything else you'd like to communicate? Anything you want to share before we end?
No, nothing. I just want to tell all my friends, and I want to thank you also for trying to create awareness. I always tell that, engage, encourage, empower and employ survivors, because they are good people. You need to empower them. And I tell you that one thing, that once you empower one survivor, they'll give back to the community. I'm not talking about my own experience. I've seen so many victims and survivors. I've worked with them, whether they're from Mexico. And during this pandemic, the perpetrators have become more aggressive. Wow. I'm talking in the United States of America. And I get so many calls. I run groceries to these people. I try to bridge the gap of their rent. I take them for the medical checkups because they do not have transportation. So I drive them for the dental or for the vision because they do not have medical insurance over there. So there are ways and means that you can always help people, in your daily life. It is like just smiling to somebody or something you have. Why don't you just share your piece of bread or a pizza or a burger with somebody? I always do that. Just last week I ran bread and I gave to some 8 immigrant families and to some 8 inmate families, somebody on the streets, and then to the shelter home. So it just gives you joy. It gives you happiness. So it's just a humble request to all my friends. Like if you see something, you do not have to get involved with the victim or with the perpetrator. If you go to a gas station or to a restaurant and you find in little doubt that I think, he or she is a victim of human trafficking or labor trafficking, just call the hotline number. I said that 1-888-373-7888, and they will take care of it. And it is their checkup. So there are ways and means of helping people. And I just want to thank you. I would like just end on 2 notes. That number 1 is that do not tell God how big the storm is in your life, but tell the storm how big the God is in your life. And that is how I changed.
Uh-huh.
And number 2, I always tell, is that making a mistake is not a mistake. I made a mistake, so making a mistake is not a mistake. Making no mistake is a mistake. Repeating a mistake is a big mistake. But learning from your mistake and helping people like what I'm trying to do, to live a happy life is not at all a mistake. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Harold, for all of that and for all you're doing to help in such a big way. I'm so happy we met and looking forward to continuing this friendship.
Yeah, thank you very much, Alan. I'm looking forward to meeting you personally. I really appreciate it. And thank you all the viewers within the US and globally for always helping the victims and survivors and doing good work for the community. Thank you very much. God bless America.
Thanks, Harold. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
What an amazing human rights hero. To learn more about Harold and his organization, check out eyesopeninternational.org. To learn your 30 human rights, visit humanrights.com. We are here to help each other. Thanks for listening.
Thank you for listening to Know Your Rights with Ellen Firestone. To learn more, visit thefirestone.org.